Good evening, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to the May edition of the Canyon Country Advisory Committee. Tonight, we have the honor and privilege of a meet and greet with four of our 25th congressional candidates. This meeting room is provided by the Moose Lodge as a public service. We want to commend them for their helping us in getting message out about different issues to the public. And it's a great organization, so if you are not a Moose member and you'd like to become one, well, I'm sure we can find a membership application for you. Food services are available every third Wednesday of the month when we have our meetings, and dinner is typically $8, so it's very inexpensive, but for a very good meal. And so if ever you want to come and don't have time for dinner, just stop by here for dinner before our meeting. For tonight's meeting agenda, we'll start out. This is a very abbreviated agenda for us. We're going to start out with the flag salute, almost no announcements. And then we're going to run right into our congressional meet and greet. I'll start out by explaining the format, and then we're going to go right into it. And I'm sure it's going to take the whole meeting. We have four of the five candidates here tonight, Mr. Bomberger, Mr. Caforio, Mr. Moffitt, and Mr. Vince. Steve Knight is unable to be here this evening. He has commitments in Washington, and so he has sent us information that he is available in July. And so if he survives the primary, why, I'm sure we'll be happy to have a debate with whoever the other person is. And then our version of public participation at the end of the meeting, which is the first five people who want to speak for a minute. But tonight, only if time permits. If time permits, we'll do it. But if we're running over our bewitching hour, which is 9 o'clock, we will not. Every month when you come here, we look for something that's inspirational, either in things that people have done in the past. We've honored a lot of service members. And in this case, I ran across this article about a lady named Elaine Harmon, and I was very, very impressed. She was one of the female pilots in World War II. Out of 25,000 applicants, 1,174 actual flyers were certified to fly. And she served during the entire time that women's service was going. I noticed that she had completed her training in 1944, and she flew AT-6s, PT-17s, BT-13s, B-17s, and ended her career flying P-51 Mustangs around the country. Now, as what happens in many times with people that go beyond the normal call of duty, is the women in this service were not recognized as veterans for a very, very long time. And they became recognized in 1977 when legislation was passed giving them full military status for their service. And in 1984, the women or their surviving family were decorated with the World War II victory medals. But as of today, it's still unfortunate that even though they are classified as veterans, they're not allowed to be buried in Arlington. This is one of the issues that they're still working on. And Elaine Harmon, unfortunately, will never see it happen because she died at the age of 95 on April the 21st, 2015. So it shows that there are always, as I say, heroes all around us, people that have done extraordinary things. And with that, Julie, will you lead us in the flag salute?
Sure. Everybody please stand. Place your right hand over your heart and I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
For those of you that attend the meetings a lot, I just have one announcement to make tonight. I attended OTNA today, the Old Town Newhall Association meeting, And I found out that the county, if you remember, we talked about the county's park district that they want to establish, and I found out that the county actually did hold a meeting with in Hart Park, and there's questions as I asked about it, whether it was invitational only, but only 5 people attended. So when I heard about this and realizing that they had refused to come out, the county had refused to come out and talk to us, I called Dave Perry, and Dave Perry is going to try to get a representative of the county to come to our next meeting and tell us about that initiative. So hopefully that'll happen. Last month, we had a good meeting. We noticed that we track our statistics based upon what you're most interested in, and when candidates are here, for some reason, the numbers always go way up. I don't understand it. You guys just attract more attention. I don't know. Video statistics as well. The big spikes are normally some kind of a candidate affair. I don't.
You invite us more often.
That's it. You know, that's the way we'll get more people here. I'll invite you guys more often. That's a really good idea. So things are going good, but we continue to track those kinds of things. So let's get right into the congressional debate, or not debate, but our meet and greet format, and I'm going to explain what it is, and then we'll get going right away. It's our goal to give each one of the candidates an equal opportunity to get their message out. We want to make sure that you as a community hear it. As a result of the California primary, we invited all of the 25th congressional candidates to this meeting to participate. Our organization, the Canyon Country Advisory Committee, as an organization, will not provide any candidate endorsements or analysis of content. We do not do any fact-checking. The event is video recorded, and each candidate's presentation will be put together and loaded out on YouTube, and the links are going to be provided on our email list and posted on Facebook for anybody to see. Candidates are welcome to any of the video footage that we have. Tonight we're going to have 3 separate cameras recording as well as our composite, and you're welcome, all of the candidates and their staff are welcome to any of that footage that we have. You're noticing that as you are speaking, you'll see yourself up there in the front. Okay? Candidates are seated at the table in front of the room. The order of seating, so that we show no impartiality, is alphabetical by last name. We always do it that way. But the order of candidate presentations are going to be determined by our very scientific paper bag process. Okay? And we have our own bag lady, there she is, who goes around and draws names. Now, one little surprise tonight would be that just so that I wasn't surprised if all of a sudden Steve Knight walked in, his name is in here as well. So if you draw him, just draw another one and we'll move on. A timing device is going to be provided, and it's going to be counting down time for each presentation section. That's going to be visible to the candidates right here in the video monitor in front of you. It'll be up on the screen for everybody to see. And we ask that the candidates and the people asking questions respect the time allocated. For the first section is going to be an opportunity for the candidates to introduce themselves. It'll be 3 minutes for each candidate to introduce themselves and provide what other information they think is appropriate. And what I didn't mention is that all candidate presentations will be done from this podium so that they're all in the center and it's a fair deal for all. Okay, and that, of course, will be determined by our scientific methods. Then for the second section, each candidate will be allotted 20 minutes for questions and answers. A separate microphone is set up in the front of the room. If you would like to ask a question, we have a place to line up with in the back. And then as speakers come up, we have a next speaker chair so we can keep this thing rolling. Questions from the audience are limited to 1 minute. And we ask each questioner to only ask one single part question. And then if they have another question, they can get back in line and return for an additional question. Then please note, candidates will be allocated 90 seconds to answer each question. Candidates, election staff members, Santa Clarita City Council members, California state elected officials, and our moderator, the muscle over here on the to my left, may not submit questions to any of the candidates. We want these questions to come from the electorate, and there are no canned questions to be asked. Remember, when you're asking questions, please identify who you are, make each question as straightforward and concise as possible, and complete your question in 1 minute. Then, at the conclusion, again, we'll have another paper bag, and candidates will be given 3 minutes to wrap up their participation in this event with the order determined by the way we had stated it. So, for video considerations, candidates are required to stay at the podium during their presentation. All microphones, the one that's over there and this one, will be hot throughout the meeting. So don't say anything into it that you don't want people to hear. Candidates are not allowed to post banners or signs, and they have not. But candidate information can be available in the back of the room, and for any of the candidates that have brought such information, it's fine. And after the meeting, if you'd like to stay for a while, that's okay too. And talk to whoever wants to hear. So if you're not on our email list again, and you'd like to receive our monthly meeting information, please sign up for that on that list. So let's get this thing started. So before we get started, let's give our candidates a big hand for coming here and